So, hello, once again, I'm back on my old, I don't know, trustworthy Lenovo Legion 5 Pro. Once again, we are back on Commodore OS Vision 3.1 Linux distribution. Before I will continue, let me see if the stream is live. This is very important because I had problems with it moments ago. Seemingly it's fine. So yeah, here's the deal. I was how can I say this? Well, you know what? Let's start with the system information and then we will get there. So here we are. Let's zoom in. This is fine. So yeah, as you can see, Debian GNU Linux 12.14, Legion 5 Pro, Linux kernel is 7.0.11, bus cell, the screen resolution is 2560 by 1600 at 165 Hz, and soon you will see my OBS settings, which is kind of weird. At least for me it's weird, but I couldn't do a better thing today because I'm streaming on the Kick service and that's quite limiting. Anyway, desktop environment is made, Windows Manager Combis X11, and then the system has an AMD Ryzen 7 5800H CPU, and the GPU is NVIDIA RTX 3070 Mobile. It also has some kind of an AMD built-in, but I have disabled that. System has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of SD space. Anyway, back to the normal thing. And with the system information out of the way, let's go and check out what is Commodore OS Vision 3.1 Linux distribution. I will go once again back to the Vivaldi browser. Here we are. Commodore OS 3.1 released on April 28, 2026. I'm pleased to announce the official release of Commodore OS 3.1 today, which is available as an installable ISO, now reduced to a much more manageable size of approximately 9.2 gigabytes. This is a significant reduction from the 37 gigabytes Commodore OS 3 ISO. To achieve this, some content had to be removed, but we believe we have retained the essential Commodore flavored experience while adding new features that make this distribution even more distinctive. Anyway, you can use the direct file download to download it, but I had troubles with it. It was very slow, so just use the preferred method, which is the torrent file, unless of course you don't want to do that, so direct file it is. Then I will have to click here on the distro watch, not because the website says, but because I have to show you this. This is kind of important, at least in my opinion it is. This part here, I mean. Commodore OS Vision is a 64-bit Linux distribution which was originally based on Linux Mint and is now an unofficial spin-off MX Linux. This distribution was created for Commodore enthusiasts and people who appreciate a retro-style interface, just like me. Commodore OS Vision uses the made desktop interface and features a retro look and effects. It has a classic Commodore slant with a selection of applications reminiscent of their classic Amiga counterparts. Anyway, here's the deal. I have to show you, before I will continue with anything else, I have to show you my OBS settings. So let's do that. Here we are. As you can see, 2560 by 1600. I have for this Kick stream today and recording, I'm using 1536 by 960 in order to get this scale of 1610. The thing is that I tried to use another downscale with higher resolution, but the Kick service will have none of it. So I went back to this lower resolution. Anyway, 30 FPS, and this is the output I'm using for streaming and recording software encoders X264, 8000 bitrate, and AAC audio encoder. And for the file, I'm using MKV, as you can see. The recording file, I mean. Anyway, hopefully the stream and everything works just fine. I have my usual camera effects, both on the video and the audio, and hopefully everything works just fine. I don't have much time to spend customizing the thing. I've installed I have installed my usual suspects of the Flatpak apps. I'm weird just like that. Here they are. I will zoom in a bit again. Oops. So as you can see, Discord, PDF Arranger, Flat Seal, and so on. I have already prepared the stuff for the stream and the recording today with the Kdenlive and GIMP and all that. I'm sure they work perfectly fine. So I haven't done any other crazy things with my system. I need to customize it further, and trust me, I have already had issues with it. I tried. Where do I start? Maybe it's the system's problem, but yeah, let me go back again here. For example, when I installed the system, it didn't have this Linux kernel, and it didn't have the perfect support for this GPU. I'm using the latest drivers. I think I can show you this one perfectly fine. I'm not sure if I can find it, maybe with the system here. NVIDIA. Yes, here we are. So yeah, as you can see, these are the latest drivers, at least for this system, for this release. 580.142. Proprietary, of course, drivers. They are not the open source. So in order to make this happen, I had to go through some troubleshooting, which of course, as you can see, everything right now works just fine. I took some notes, so I have prepared kind of a guide thing for anyone that will be running this thing. And maybe this is related to the other person in comments who had troubles with his own NVIDIA GPU. But then again, maybe not. NVIDIA drivers, especially on Linux, are all over the place. But yeah, anyway, latest drivers for this system, working just fine. I have hardware encoders for my Kdenlive and the OBS. And I'm pretty sure that I will have tomorrow a test drive for them on the OBS settings for sure. And then I'll try to have, I will try to customize the system a bit better, like, you know, my shortcuts and all those things. And then maybe, if possible, to run DaVinci Resolve Studio on this one. I will see. I'm not sure if I will do the whole shebang like I did with my Alienware system. But yeah, I will try to see what I can do with this system without poking it a lot. Maybe something a cross between the Alienware and what I've been doing with the other Linux distributions. I'm not sure. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. But I will try to see for sure if I have the ability to run DaVinci Resolve on this system. because it has an NVIDIA graphics. And maybe the problem on my Dell Alienware was simply the GPU side of things and not this Commodore OS Vision 3.1 Linux distribution. Anyway, I don't want to drag this any longer. If you see some animations being faster like this one, where switching between workspaces, this is related to the options that I have tweaked a bit. Nothing to do with the graphics, I mean. But yeah, anyway, hopefully everything will go well. Wish me luck for the next few days. And yeah, as always, thank you for everything and see you on the next one. Bye!